Dvorak, Kim, welcome. Kim, now you just published an amazing article in which you say that the U.S. that President Obama, according to your sources, is building up and preparing for a war in the Middle East. Tell us why you say that, who your sources are, and what the timing is.
Okay, well, first let me say that I think that all the pieces are falling into place. I'm not certain exactly who will actually strike the match and who's going to, in essence, begin a war in the Middle East. All the pieces are falling together, and we're waiting for a final spark in, like in 1914 with the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, that sparked enough violence, and that began World War I. We're waiting to see what's going to happen here, but over the past year and a half, 2 years, the United States has been arming defensively as well as offensively all of our Gulf partner nations, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Egypt, you name it, we've been arming them.
All right, so you're not saying that President Obama is going to take military action. You're saying he's creating the environment for such a thing. Do you have sources within the U.S. military, within the Department of Defense, that agree with you?
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely those within the military that agree that something is going to happen. Push comes to shove, we're waiting for something, and that may be what's going on in Yemen right now, as you alluded to earlier in your statement. The United States is standing by, and President Obama, again this morning in his, via Josh Earnest, the White House press secretary, came out again and stated that Yemen's counterterrorism is a positive and a good template for countering this. And as he's saying this, the president that the U.S. installed in Yemen was fleeing by boat. He couldn't even get out on an airplane in that country. So it shows you how out of touch the United States government and officials are.
All right, out of touch. I agree. But why do you believe this? On the one hand, the President Obama is saying that, it's time to take a deep breath. It's not a big threat. They're a JV basketball team. They're not a part of Islam. It's just an isolated group. On the other hand, you're saying that he is creating the infrastructure for war to occur.
Yeah, well, he's assuring our allies that, look, we're giving you billions of dollars worth of Patriot 3 missile batteries. We're giving you offensive and defensive weapons. Saudi Arabia, for example, is in possession of bunker buster bombs. What does Saudi Arabia need with bunker buster bombs? They, you see, high altitude refueling planes. What does Saudi Arabia need with that? They're improving the AWACS. They're getting high-tech satellite equipment that most of them don't even know how to operate at this point, so they're having issues with that. And I think that another thing to keep in mind here, Saudi Arabia is also very concerned because they know that ISIS will come for them one day, and they also know that the Houthis to the south in Yemen, who are busy taking over Yemen right now, in 2011 they fought the Houthis and they lost to the Houthis, and now the Houthis said that we're on the march through Yemen, and it prompted a statement from one of the Saudi princes today, and he said, don't even think about coming over here to our country, Mecca. And the Houthis replied, forget Mecca, we're coming to Riyadh.
And of course, Saudi Arabia is concerned about the Iranian nuclear deal.
Yeah. So
is this just naivete on the part of the Obama administration, just reckless management, like trading 5 Taliban members for a deserter Bo Bergdahl?
Yeah. I'm not certain it's like on that level, because I think what we're seeing right now, Rick, is this is still a Sunni Shia battle, and this is a regional battle. It's growing, but the concerning thing I think most Americans need to be concerned about here is we're allowing Iran to become a bigger player in the region,
right.
And they have a much more capable army, and they can actually launch ballistic missiles, and this is why you're seeing all the defense missiles taking place, or being encircled. And if I believe we have map 2 that we can look at.
Let's look at map number 2 on the screen. Tell us why this is important.
Okay, well, as we can see, these are all ballistic missile batteries that the United States has given our allies, and in the middle is Iran, and that's the target. And all these missile protection systems are pointed at Iran. very curious that we look at a map like that. And a couple of weeks ago, I reported about the Operation Eagle Operation Eagle, which is a joint operation that was being operated through the United States on Kuwaiti soil, and they were preparing the largest training exercise so they could sync up the radio communication.
So perhaps the Obama administration not wanting to put U.S. military action into play is building up assets in the region to allow our allies protect themselves against a powerful nuclearized Iran, and in the process creating a tinderbox.
In creating a tinderbox, and again, one of the biggest things out of the training exercises is we learned that there are 4 U.S. destroyers in the Black Sea.
How many are traditionally there?
0. 4 in that small region, and you can see on the map, if we go back to map 2 again, you can see the Black Sea. To have 4 destroyers in that region is a huge sore of, point for Putin. Russian President Putin is looking at that and fuming, saying, how dare you come so close to Russia with all of these, destroyers, and it's a very provocative move by the administration. No one knows who's going to be the first one to strike at this, but I have a feeling that Israel is not really going to stand by the sidelines and watch the Iranians get a nuclear weapon. And, we just don't know where it's leading.
Yeah, Kimberly, in this conversation, you've talked about Israel, Iran, and Russia. Are we looking at World War III in this scenario?
And don't forget about China on this, because China is also a no vote for a lot of this. It's a possibility. I mean, like I said, I go back to the 1914 assassination of Franz Ferdinand. Something that was kind of something kind of small, but it triggered the fuse, and everybody went all out, and everybody started choosing sides. The fact that we've sold billions and billions and billions worth of weapons to the Middle East region, and Libya, and Tunisia, and all these other countries, there's a flood of weapons. What are they going to do with those weapons?
All right, Kimberly Dvorak, National Homeland Security correspondent. Very provocative and interesting analysis. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.